Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye has friends. No, really, Jeff has friends. Jeff's friends are on this podcast. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship.
Friendship.
Hey guys, welcome to Jeff Dye's Friendship Podcast. I'm very excited. Slacking, it's hard to edit and produce these things when I'm home and I am alone. But I'm in Utah. As you can see, I'm in a hotel room. That makes it even more difficult. That's why this is not on time. I am in Utah doing comedy shows at Wise Guys Comedy Club. Don't worry, all the safety precautions are in order. This is my first live show. I'm gonna see how this goes. Everyone's gonna be wearing masks. That's gonna make the laughter sound quiet. Everybody's tables are 6 feet apart. That's gonna be interesting. And no party's bigger than 4. So we'll see if these shows are any good or if it's worth it. But I do want to announce that I do have a live virtual show coming up from my house again. For all the people that couldn't make it last time, it was a lot of fun. Kind of got the kinks out. Now I kind of got an idea of what that's going to be like. So we're going to do another one. I'm going to announce that date real soon. But thank you guys for being here. This week you're going to enjoy. We're doing a little pod swap. This is a live show that I did via Zoom in my kitchen before I came to Utah with Roxy Striar, called Live at the Roxy. I absolutely adore Roxy Striar. She's cute, she is spunky, she's feisty, she's really funny, and she's beautiful to put a little icing on the cake. I really like her. She also knows a lot of stuff about the subjects I enjoy. She's in that movie and nerd kind of culture game. I love her. Please give her a follow. Please give her a listen. Now, without further ado, episode of Jeff Dye's Friendship Podcast is live from the Roxy with Roxy Striar, Jeff Dye and Roxy, tie-dye Roxy. Oxy tie? I don't know how that would work. She sent it, and I was trying to remember it, and I blew it. Anyways, love Roxy. I love all of you guys. Enjoy this episode and get to know my friend Roxy Striar.
Welcome back to Live at the Roxy. Guys, huge show today because my friend, a man who makes me laugh very inappropriately at times, but is a funny dude, the best Instagram in the game. He's got a lot of friendship to give because he's got a friendship podcast. It's Jeff Dye in the house. Hi, Jeff.
Hello, how are you?
I like your very open hand wave. That's I'm a kind of this.
I've stolen from a child. You know what I'm saying? Like my nieces and nephews, like they always like wave very very big, or like the way little kids flex, they do this.
What,
you know?
inward?
I steal. Yeah, like your mom, a flex is like that. You put your arms up, but like a little kid, he'll flex like this. You know?
Can you look how awkward it is? Because I've been laying outside tanning. I look like white dark when I flex.
I would have never noticed that.
But now you do. It looks like I put
like
some kind of, I don't know. Doesn't this look really awkward? What is happening under my arm? Is it my arm?
It's just a little lighter. Yeah, it's lighter because that's the inside of your arm.
I'm really upset right now.
Like,
yeah, but this is like, I don't know. It makes my armpits look weird and like kind of saggy. Maybe they're hairy. I just don't even want to. No. And I just tried so hard for you. Everybody at home, you guys know I don't try this hard. I put on a shirt that like
today's the day.
It's a big day. It's a big day.
Clothes, deodorant. You're trying to, I love it. And I noticed right away. I said, you look beautiful.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And you look very handsome yourself. With your bandana around your neck, does that sit there always during quarantine?
So this is interesting, or not interesting, but it's something about me, is that I love a mask. I am a big fan of the masks.
Like pre-quarantine?
Well, during quarantine, or before quarantine, I never had a reason to wear a mask. but I love Mortal Kombat so much that this makes me feel so like the one time I ever went to like Coachella, my favorite part was that we got to wear like bandanas over our faces
Because of
or,
the
like,
sand.
yeah, or the storm, like the
Storm.
wind.
Yeah, yeah. Were
And
you
then
there for the
also,
year of the
like,
Chili Peppers? Was that when you were there?
I went when Kid Cudi was there. I don't know what year that was. I didn't
know.
enjoy it, if I'm being honest.
What happened?
I just don't like that.
That's the end of the sentence. I just don't like that.
It's not for me, you know. It's like if you took someone who hates baseball to baseball, or you take your friend who doesn't like God to church. Like
You
I
hate
went to
music?
Coachella, and I was like, these people are great. I just don't want to. I'm not doing this.
It was the music part, or was the vibes?
It's confusing. So I'll try to explain it. I'll try to articulate this well.
Okay.
What I was doing was I found myself being judgmental of something that had no business being judged. That's my point. So it made me, I was like, what's all these young people listening to music doing drugs? It's like, dude, you went to a place where young people do drugs and listen to music, and then you're judging them for, yeah. So it made me go, I'm the problem, not them. They're great. I came to where they go. You know, and to use the earlier example, it'd be like going to someone's church and being like, look at all these conservative idiots singing to the Lord. It's like, no, dude, that's where they do that. You came to them.
But in the church example, I'm the conservative idiot because I'm the Coachella kid goer. That's me. You were judging me.
I was judging, well, but I'm acknowledging that I'm wrong.
I know.
I was wrong.
I know. I love it so much, though. I just want to share my love with you.
It was too much like I felt a lot older than everyone else, which made me slightly insecure. And then I don't do drugs. So there was a lot of that going on. So people were like trying to bond with me. They're like, hey, do you want to do some Molly? And I was like, nah. They're like, do you want to do Coke? And I was like, nah. And so that made me feel also like I wasn't like them. And then like during the I'm 6'4", so I'm like lumbering around, like, and everyone's like, "Can we get on your shoulders?" I was like, "That's not gonna happen." Like a bunch of sweaty girls that like I don't know who haven't showered in days.
Nobody on your shoulders.
No.
Wow.
I would have if I knew them, you know. But they were like strangers.
No.
They were like strangers.
That's
I don't
the
want
thing
their
about
like sweaty
Coachella.
crotch on the back of my neck. Like I don't even know them.
Why not?
Well, if I knew them, maybe. If I was interested, maybe. But I don't know. It just felt weird.
That's the thing about Coachella. You can go up to any tall person and ask if you can sit on his neck. That like you're allowed to do that there.
That's part of the culture.
Did you go with like girlfriend, guy friends, group of people? Because I want to get to the bottom of why you didn't have fun, and also you don't do drugs. Like period, line in the sand.
I'm not very good at drugs, so doing them at a giant music festival around a bunch of people would probably make me not enjoy the experience as much. I'd probably like freak out, maybe. I don't know. A lot of fear in me about that.
Are you a panicker?
When I smoke weed, yeah, I freak out.
Really?
Yeah, it's not very fun.
Man.
I know, but I just haven't practiced. I'm not good enough yet. That's all.
It does take work.
I have no like ethical problem with it. It's just that I've always embarrassed myself when I do it.
That sucks. I feel for people like you because I would be so upset if I sucked at drugs. Like that would be something that really drugs run in my family. So like you have to, you've got to like own it and then be good at it. And if you're a freak out artist, that's not cool in my fam. You got to be cool.
Well, the tough part about drugs is that people, and also drugs, I hate that term. Let's talk about weed. The tough part about weed, because drug, I mean, that's so stupid.
Who made up that word? It does sound like
it's the word. It's
really
so
serious. Like he's on drugs.
It's like the word cult. It's too vague. Anything could be a cult because it's based on your opinion.
I think I'm in a cult or two, but I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's why I don't use that word because the definition is so broad that you could consider the NFL a cult. You could consider like almost anything. But with weed, let's talk about weed specifically. Like if you have a bad whatever, people go, "Oh, you did the wrong strand," and you're like, "All right, now I have to be like a scientist and like figure out what my strand is or like what my." It's just like it's a lot of. They blame the user, you know. Like if you got too drunk and we like embarrassed ourselves, I wouldn't just be like, hey, Roxy, you just got to find the right, maybe rum is more up your alley, or maybe you should have had tequila, or hey, maybe drink less tomorrow. Like,
Wait, that's
I don't know.
okay. Let's try to flip this on its head. That's the best part. You're not being blamed when you get too high. The weed is. People are like, oh, that probably was not a good strain. Or probably edibles just aren't good with you. Nobody does. When you drink too much, that is 100 fucking % on you. Like anytime I've drank too much, which is just way too many times to count, everybody's like, you did that.
Which what I like.
Up. No.
I believe you need to take responsibility.
Oh my God, I want no responsibility. Why would you want
I know, but I think that responsibility is key. Like, if I drink too much, I don't just go, hey, blame it on the booze, Like, they go, no, you've got a problem. Whereas, like, with weed, you get this great dismisser of, like, well, I've never had a Sanika Indolo or whatever the hell it is.
When I drink too much, I try to blame it on literally anything I can. I didn't sleep that much. I didn't eat enough. I was feeling anxiety.
Yeah, somebody put something in it.
For sure, I saw somebody put it in.
I normally drink more than that, but I think someone put something in it because I was out early. Like,
I've never drank too much and not said something like that. Like, never have I just been like, oh fuck, I drank too much last night. I mean, in the hundreds of times I have like drank and puked or passed out or punched somebody or done something horrible.
Found something.
It's always somebody else's fault or something else. I can't believe you want to take responsibility for your own actions. It's so.
I feel like it's responsible.
It's so shitty of you. All right. I know I want to talk to you for days, but the people want to also. Let's get to some of these super chats. We got questions. We got Patreon questions. We got all this stuff coming in. Starting with Danny Bola. Danny Boy says,
I tried weed and coughed for weed.
What happened with the weed?
Well, just someone. I didn't know that we could read the comments, and then when someone wrote, "I tried pot once, and I tried weed once, and I coughed for a week."
That would suck. Imagine if you were coughing for a week. Okay, Danny Boy says, Jeff, you're the best. Isn't that nice?
Thank you.
Quick question. On your podcast, is there a beer tap next to your arcade? Thanks for bringing ha-has when we need it the most. Oh, you bring the ha-has. Is there?
Nice. Thanks. So they're on Shark Tank. I don't know if you guys like that show or watch that show. I don't even know if it's still on. A long time ago, this guy came out. It was the quickest turned down product in the history of the show. Second he came out, the second that he didn't even do his pitch, Mark Cuban goes, I'm out. And like it was like this big like kind of like what he brought out was an arcade system, right? Like an arcade box with like all these games in it. And the good thing about modern times is you don't have to choose just one game. It's a computer in there. You can have hundreds of games on it, which is really cool. But then also in the box part of the arcade, there's a mini keg, and it has a spigot on the side, so you can pour beer, drink it, has a little cup holder, and then you can play your arcade game. I thought that was so cool that I immediately went to the website and bought one for myself for my birthday because I saw it on Shark Tank. February 4th. And so it was called the Arkeg, which is like a play on arcade, rough play on the word, but it was called Arkeg. And the owner from the company drove it to my house, and we had a beer together. It was like a whole thing. I was super happy. And then a couple months later, I messaged him like, hey, can you put more games on this? I'll pay you whatever. Can I get like a thumb drive with more games to put on the thing? And he's like, oh, we sold the company. I don't ever want to do that stuff again. I guess like after the show, he just got inundated with all these orders, and he just sold the company. Wait,
so he did well after the show?
Yeah, because people like me saw it, and we're like, I don't know why he's passing on that. Like, he was sleeping on gamers. Mark Cuban was making it. That's the problem with Shark Tank. Do you watch the show?
Yeah, sometimes. It's really great when I watch, but I disagree with the Sharks all the time.
Me too. That's two of the problems. Is one, they want the company to already be successful. They'll be like, well, what are your numbers? It's like, dude, if we were successful, I wouldn't need you.
Why would I be here?
Yeah, you're supposed to just say, that's a good idea, let's make this blow up. Why are you need my company to already be successful? And then the second thing I don't like is like Barbara Corcoran, they'll bring out like some weird electric skateboard, and she's like, well, I break my neck. And it's like, yeah, Barbara, it's not for you. It's for consumers.
They all only want the things they do. Yeah, they all. Yeah. That's them. It's like anytime that they bring out, they're like, this is a woman product. We only are pitching this to the women. And It's like, what the fuck? Money's
And
money.
the women sharks are real sexist that way too. Like, don't you want to? Wouldn't you rather work with a gal? And you're like, not necessarily.
Yeah,
I think
no. Whoever has the
I'd
better
rather
deal.
work with
Yeah.
whoever would be the best business person or the best. I think that's pretty reasonable. I
Wait,
think
so
there's
how-
some.
What are you going to
What's
do?
that?
How are you going to get more games on it?
I'm just stuck with the games that are on there. But luckily, he put like 200 games on there, so I'm pretty happy. I also never play it, if I'm honest. But it's fun to have, and it sits in the podcast room and makes me happy.
I feel like there's got to be a different solution. There has to be more people that could put something better on it.
I think that there's probably people out there. I imagine so many of your fans would know how to put more games on there for sure. But the games that are on there are pretty good. I did a pretty good first run through of games. I have Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3, which is my favorite series of all time. It's got NBA Jam, and it's Donkey Kong Country from the SNES. Like, I'm doing pretty good.
All right, you're all set. I'll stop trying to make you have more games
But
on
thank
there.
you.
Andrew
Wow.
says, hey, always beautiful and sexy, Roxy. Wow,
Ooh.
don't forget it. I'm beautiful and sexy, bitches. Today is my
Double whammy.
birthday. Just making the most of it. Andrew, happy birthday. Well, that's twice birthdays have come up today.
Happy birthday, Andrew Thomas. 3 exclamation points on Sexy Roxy. 2 exclamation points on his birthday. You got more than his birthday.
How do you feel when people call you sexy? Because does it make you want to crawl under a table? Because I literally cannot handle like somebody saying something like that. I have to make a joke or like be like, "Oh, sexy, yeah, just sexy." Like
Yeah.
I can't like just roll with that. It's not.
It is weird. We're silly people. I think that's the problem.
It's just uncomfortable. I told you earlier before this stream started that I got multiple messages. I posted a picture of you, and my single ladies came out and were like, "Who is this? Who is
That's
it?"
very nice.
But doesn't it make you
I
want to
think-
die a little bit? Like,
Yeah, it's a very uncomfortable thing. Although I don't want to encourage anyone to not say it. I think it's nice to tell people.
keep
those things.
it coming,
But like
yeah.
you kind of did it too. Like you're the type of gal who I'll be like, you look very beautiful, and you're like, I haven't showered for days. And you're like, all right, well, I thought you looked very beautiful.
Literally immediately. That's
Well,
me.
You had to take it away.
You're like, oh, you look nice. I'm like, deodorant.
Yeah, you even did it. You even go off. I put first time I've worn a shirt in weeks.
Yeah, well, I tried really hard. Chris Burke in here. Let's see what's going on. He says, hi, best friend. It's Avery. Love ya. That's all. LOL. Chris Burke and Avery are a father-daughter duo. They're really adorable. Chris had
Nice.
corona and is better now. And so Avery and Chris popped in to tell us that this week. And now Avery just sent in
That
love.
makes us happy. That's very good.
You guys
How
rock.
old is Avery?
I think early teens. I was gonna say actually
Okay.
12, but I think a little older than that. But Avery's actually
Okay.
getting into the biz.
Cool. I was
yeah.
just curious why they're sharing an account, but that makes total sense if she's young.
Yeah, Avery's been commercial auditioning and doing some stuff and is actually getting some positive feedback. So they're our favorite
Nice. You know what
father-daughter duo.
my selfish move in the last 6 months? I want to make my dog like in movies. I want to be like one of those kind of dads.
Wait, what do you mean? Like you just want to
Like where they take my dog and they put him in movies and stuff. Like what's it called? Like Air Bud, that? Like like
love
these
Air
dog
Bud.
things. They basically take your dog. They have a full-time trainer with the dog who teaches them like things and like feeds them and does all the things you would do if you're a dog owner. Then they bring you your dog back when they're done with production, which sometimes is a few days and sometimes is weeks. And then they just, after a little while, like SAG-AFTRA gives your dog a check. But my dog doesn't even know what to do with money. So it'll be all for me and he's going to do all the work.
Well, I do think this about who knows if I'll ever have kids any day because, like, I don't want to fucking be pregnant. That shit sounds actually miserable. I mean, fuck that.
Frightening.
Oh my God, I have pregnant friends right now. Like, you destroy. Fuck that. But
Yeah.
I do
Careful.
think
That's a very controversial take on that.
not getting pregnant.
The most I've ever lost on Twitter followers was like criticizing like a pregnant woman, like about like how awful it seems. And I must have lost like 500 before I could delete the tweet. Like this is also a while ago, but
What did
and
you
it's also
say?
different coming from me. It was bad, and I just didn't know. I'm stupid. I like literally was going into like Barry's boot camp, and I saw this woman, and she's pregnant, and the old thing we say is like, oh, there's nothing more beautiful than a pregnant woman. Well, we're just saying that because that's the miracle of life, and we're trying to be nice.
I've never heard that.
It's a social courtesy to be like, oh, there's nothing more beautiful than a pregnant woman. But we know, so what I tweeted was like, there's nothing more beautiful than a pregnant woman. An agitated, sweaty, angry, fed up, depressed, achy, bloated, pregnant woman.
Yep,
just to play with the idea of like, even the pregnant woman goes, dude, I'm not feeling good. And I don't, it's like even the pregnant women will admit like, I am not feeling this, so.
No.
But I lost like 500 followers immediately.
We have a friend of the show that came on a few weeks ago who was talking about how she like continues to shit herself after she like years later. I mean, she's still,
not uncommon.
Yeah, and that like fuck that. I can't even imagine choosing that. But anyway, good luck to the pregnant people. I don't know why I started talking about my pregnant friends. There was something.
You were saying if you ever have kids, and then that made you get
That's
freaked
exactly
out.
what it is. Look at you. Look at you remembering. I want to sell them into the business so that I can keep their money. That was the point of it. So
I don't you sell them into the business. You can't word it like that.
I think that I'm not ready to be a parent based on my verbiage.
Hilarious.
But that's the thing. Like, don't you want your dog making money for you? I want my kids, like, put in work.
Yeah. Well, but there'll be some guilt when it's kids. Because then, like, later on, they're going to be like, oh, one of these showbiz moms who just kept their money. Whereas if my dog could be in 20 movies, nobody's going to be like, yeah, but is he going to get that money when he's older? It's like, no, he's a dog. Like, I'm definitely recouping 100% of the profits.
But I feel like you would use some of it, like, clothes for the dog, food for the dog, bike.
But also, those parents could say, like showbiz parents, they don't go, well, I fed him, and I let him live in my house.
That's exactly what I would say.
Like Macaulay Culkin's mom would be a horrible lady if she just kept all of his money and was like, well, I fed him, let him live here. You're like, dude, he was the star of Home Alone.
You can't do that shit anymore. There's like crazy laws about like 25% has to go in the thing. They can't touch their 18. By crazy laws, I mean 100% those laws should be in place.
Those crazy laws.
Those fucking crazy laws. I just hope they're not. So by the time that I'm popping out kids from my non-vagina, that sounds like I don't have a vagina. I do have a vagina.
Yeah,
I just don't want kids.
Let's just be clear. You have a vagina and you're not yet sure if you want a kid to live in there.
Well, I do feel like if you, this is a stupid comment too. I shouldn't talk about pregnant people either because I don't get it. But I do feel like cut it out of me instead of push it out of me, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's just more dangerous. That's why they don't do it.
I know. So that's why I'm not supposed to talk about it. But like a little bit more dangerous, I'm okay with if it preserves my entire vagina. Like that's a
right.
long.
Well, and that's the argument that like a doctor would go, hi, Roxy, I hate to call you like vain, but like what we need to do is worry about the health of this baby. And you're like, I'm kind of worried about, and they're like, that's not really how this works.
Right. But that's how it works for me, which is how you know that I'm not fit to be a mom, at least at this time. We'll see in the future. Danny Boy says, go watch Jeff's stand up. Hilarious. # love everyone. Isn't it nice when people pimp out your stuff? It's so good.
Makes me very happy.
Where is it?
Where's what?
Where can
Matt just wrote, so Jeff wants to take advantage of dogs and Rocky wants to take advantage of children. Well, it's not taking advantage. We want to profit off of them. Don't you understand? Total difference.
I'm saying, where can they watch your stand-up? Why don't you want to answer?
My stand-up is on YouTube, and then like Instagram is probably the best way. Just go to Instagram TV. There's tons of stand-up.
I'm obsessed with your fucking Instagram.
Oh, thank you. That's
so
nice of
good.
You.
Are you making those things yourself? Do you make the words and the pictures? You do a great job.
Thank you very much. This will be a fun thing. What are your favorite Instagram pages? Like in the morning when you go to Instagram, and also forgive me if you want me to be very honest with you. Your Instagram is like one of my favorite, just like hot chick Instagrams. Like I think you're very beautiful.
I try really hard not to do that. No, I don't strap. I don't do what the fuck.
No, you're very gorgeous, so I like looking at you. But my favorite accounts to go to, right? Like if I just want to look at a beautiful woman, then I'm sure I'll go to yours, and there's a bevy of others also. But my favorite Instagrams.
What do you got?
One's called Girls Getting Hurt. It's literally just funny like videos.
Wait a
of
second.
girls.
What is this? Girls
It's
getting
called
hurt?
Girls Getting Hurt. It's so funny. And then there's one called Tables Getting Hurt, and it's just jackasses throwing themselves through tables, and most of them are total fails. Most of them are like absolute fails.
How often do they get really hurt?
No, I mean, it's hard to say. None of them, like, there's no like fist fights or anything like that. It's usually like a girl on a rope swing, and it's like a girl on a rope swing, and then she like, you know, she's not strong enough to hold onto the rope, and so she lands in the thing all awkward. It's hilarious.
Are you sure that's what it's called? Girls getting hurt?
Yep, it's at Girls Getting Hurt, all one thing. But there's like a ton of those.
Like, I don't see it.
And then the other one is Tables Getting Hurt, which you can find also. And then there's one called, I think it's called Jomboy. Jomboy.
Jomboy.
He does. He narrates.
What's happening? Are you like burping
clips.
in your throat and then you're?
I just did actually.
When I talk on the mic.
Notice this mark that I have?
What, are you sprouting a pimple?
Nope. I ran into a wall and it bled.
Is
but
that
now
true?
It's supposed to be healed. Yeah, it's supposed to be healed.
Why did you run into a wall? Why did you run into a wall?
The power went out in my building, and I took the dog outside, and he spazzed, and he thought he saw somebody, and I smashed into a concrete thing.
What the fuck? Were you gushing blood?
No, but it was running down my forehead, and then and I was wearing a hat and a mask, and the hat, it still did that. But I thought it was gone.
I don't like that. I don't like what you're saying. I just pictured a cracked open. My friend got foot surgery and sent me a picture. Do you want to see it?
Yeah, why do people do this?
No, I need it. I have to see gross shit. Do you want to see it or no?
My mom, yeah, I'll check it out. My mom broke her foot, and my dad just was like, hey, mom broke her foot, and then sends a photo of my mom's compound fracture. And I was like, Dad, where's your bedside manner? What's going on here? You can't just fire off a shot of a janky broken foot and think that's okay.
I'm about to show you something that's going to... So look away for the next 10 seconds if you are grossed out by things. No, you have to stay looking. You guys at home, I'm about to show you something that I have stared at for, I'm going to say, at least an hour and a half at this point.
Oh my gosh.
You see the break?
Yes. Oh my, stop. So do you like those videos where it's like pimple popper and like things coming out of ears?
I love it. I will watch a pimple popping video for an hour and a half. An hour and a fucking half. I fucking love that stuff.
But what do you feel when you see that? Like what's going through you?
Impressed and like, yeah, get it. Like, fuck yeah. Like it makes me feel like ready to go. Not like ready to go, like ready to go. And like, I'm
hopefully not.
Yeah, no, that's.
Hopefully those words don't merge into some weird sexual, you don't want that.
No, but like my favorite thing when I'm dating a guy is if he lets me pop his fucking pimples. I will pimple pop for like, one of the, a blessing and a curse. I don't grow many pimples. When I do, I can't.
You get very excited.
Oh my God. Well, it sucks because they hurt, but like, holy shit. I like am obsessed with that. And like,
what
really
a weird
trying to fucking get in there.
Subsect of people that enjoy that sort of thing. Like it is so fast. So yeah, my dad he just fired off this.
Here, let me see it.
He's just like, your mom broke her foot or broke her ankle.
Holy shit. It is completely off to the side.
Clean break. And then she tried to put weight on it to get up.
Is that during quarantine? Is that now?
Yeah, it was like last week.
Oh my God.
Also, this one, I won't show you the photo, obviously, because I'm not a complete mutant of a human. But my father, who, bless his heart, they're just simple dum-dums. My biological parents are just some simple people. They're nice, they mean well, but they're dum-dums. And my dad, I'm not making this up, my sister died in a car accident 4 years ago. And when my dad went down to the thing to like identify the body, I guess, or like just whatever they do at the morgue, my dad sent me a photo of my passed away sister. I'm mourning. I'm in California. They're up in Seattle. And I'm literally, me and my dad are kind of going back and forth and talking. And then out of nowhere, like in the morning, my dad sends me a photo of my sister. And I'm like, I was.
Wait,
oh my
what
god.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I said to my girlfriend at the time, I
What
was
was
like,
his intention? What was he trying to do? What was happening?
if I'm honest, I think my dad just loves to like. He really enjoyed like being like getting attention. He was mourning also. He's very sad. He lost his oldest kid, but he also had never gotten thousands of comments on Facebook. He had never gotten
on Facebook.
No, not that, but like he
Oh
did
my
post
God.
like I lost my daughter, on whatever, and then people had heard, so he's getting all this kind of people are
Yeah.
helping him grieve, and people are giving. But he was also like, while being depressed and sad, he was also getting this little like, wow, I've never had this many people care and give me attention and give me. So he's kind of enjoying that in a way, I think, without acknowledging it, and so like. He would send me things each day, like, here's where it happened, and he'd show me like the road, and then like I was just so mortified. Like I was already like I was punching
the
walls
road?
and crying.
He was sending you like.
But that was like him. He's walking me through it, basically. It was so weird.
I mean, I think that so people are strange. By the way, I didn't know that about your sister, and I'm sure this isn't why you said it, but I'm so fucking sorry. That's horrible.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
But I have a very strange father as well who handled my mom dying very, very strangely too. And to this day, he sends me things in like out of the blue, and I'm fucking at work or something, or I'm doing something, and he'll send me these things about it, like that, like a letter or something or anything. And I'll just like start fucking crying wherever I am. And I'm like, you have to prep somebody for the shit you're about to send. You can't just like, you can't just like fucking file off a message and then I read it and I'm halfway through before I realize what the fuck it is. And I'm like,
right.
chill the fuck out.
So one of the comments is someone said just people grieve in different ways, which I totally acknowledge.
True.
Here's the thing. That was my dad's way of grieving, but he's putting it on me while I'm trying to grieve. That's the difference. So it's kind of like for example, to use the exact same metaphor, it's like, it's okay if you don't care about coronavirus and you want to get it. That's your body, your choice. But it is really aggressive when you don't care if the people around you get coronavirus. That's where you're being selfish.
It's so fucked up. It's so fucked up.
And so my dad, sure, he's grieving the only way he knows how. But fuck, man, don't send me a photo of like the person I'm mourning, right? Like it was so.
This is a bad question, but did you keep the photo?
No. Oh, what? It's in my phone somewhere. But I looked at it for like probably 10 seconds.
Like
not since. No. I'm disturbed even talking about it. Oh, it's so gross.
It's not that it's gross. It's just like extremely upsetting, I'm sure. I mean, that's fucking extremely upsetting. I shouldn't.
Yeah, when it was also like, not to get like too deep or weird, but like when I looked at it, it was like confirmation of like, oh yeah, that's not my sister. That's just like this thing she lived in. Like that was just like this like weird car of a like that was like her
vessel.
A soul is so different than a body, and like that photo really kind of confirmed it for me.
100%. I know exactly what you're talking about. I remember that, like, I was in the room when my mom died, and
oh my gosh,
like the second I don't know why I get so engaged in it. Like this is like a dope ass story, but the second her soul leaves her body or whatever, I mean, you're like cold and you smell different, and it's just like they're just not the same. So I can't even imagine, like, I didn't take a picture, but what I did do, talking about people grieving in a strange way, I did take scissors and cut off her hair and put it in a bag.
All of it?
No, just like,
I'm just kidding. Just shaved her head.
I cut off a piece for me, a piece for my brother, and a piece for my sister, like just in case they wanted it. But like, what the fuck I don't know why I was like, you know what I'm going to want? For sure, her hair, like
some sort of mom souvenir.
It's just like so fucking strange. Like I have her shirt. Yeah. That's got to be enough. But like I wanted like.
No, I don't. I think that's probably a natural reaction that just most people don't talk about. That's what I'd say. Is like you're unique for being able to be vulnerable enough to share this with me and your fans. But I think that people do stuff like that. Like my mom, when my mom's mom passed, I heard my mom was like. She like was kissing her and like
doing
all this
her
like, stuff. Well, by the time I was born, that grandma already had like dementia, so we were like so afraid of her. Like we didn't ever want to see her. Like, it was the worst. I mean, like one of my first one of my sister's first memories was I was a newborn baby, and my mom and dad didn't want my sisters to get jealous of the new baby. So what they did is they bought them a kitten. So on the same day, my sisters got a kitten, and then my mom and dad got a new baby boy, And so they were like super happy, like we have a kitten and a new brother, and I'm like this baby, right? And so my grandma was living at the house for like a week or something, and she was a little kooky, dementia. And so the kitten was in my crib, and it was just a kitten sleeping next to a baby. And my grandma believed some old wives' tale of like a cat takes a baby's breath away. And so she grabbed the cat by the tail and like threw it out against a wall like a kitten. And my sisters were mortified. It's like one of their first memories. Yeah, it's one of the first memories.
No. How old were they?
So my one sister would have been like 3.5, and my other sister would have been like 6.5.
3.5 years old, you see grandma fucking whip a kitten.
Cat was fine, but that's still, when you're a little kid, you're like, why is grandma mad at a cat? Like it was a kooky lady.
Oh, goodness. I'm sorry, guys, that I haven't gotten to some of your questions, but this was hearing about the cat get thrown across the room. I had to. Going back to you guys, though, also, did I say, oh, goodness? I think I've done a lot of firsts today saying things. Oh, goodness.
What was the one you said in the pre-thing?
I don't know. What the fuck did I say? Fucked like a dog?
Fuck a duck?
Fuck a duck?
No, a duck.
Fucked like a duck? I'm
No,
fucked
not like a duck. You said.
I just say fucked a duck?
I'd be fucked as a duck if I didn't have my fans, because they're helping you with some of this
fucked
logistics.
as a duck. Yeah, that was weird. I don't know what that was. Brandy says, hey, Roxy and Jeff. Jeff, I saw you on The Masked Singer, and your guesses were just as bad as Ken's. LOL. Have you been watching the rest of the season, and have any of your guesses changed? Wow, I'm so behind on The Masked Singer. I think I saw you post on Instagram that you were on, though. How was it?
Yeah, it was super fun.
Oh, I'm jealous. Sounds
yeah,
so
it was one of the funnest things ever.
Really?
I'm actually, oh my gosh, you basically just watch a concert, and all the people in the costumes are, I love mascots anyways. Like I'm a big fan of costumes and mascots. So you just get to watch a really good concert, and then just be silly in between, make comments, and that's why my guesses are as bad as Ken's. It's because I'm not actually trying to play the game. I'm just trying to get laughs and have fun and be silly. She said, has any of my guesses changed? Yes, I think the turtle is definitely Jesse McCartney, which might have already been revealed. I'm not sure, but I think that's who it is. And then the other guesses, I was wrong about the girl who I said, or the kitty. I was wrong about her because I said it was the Olsen twins, and then it got revealed that she was she's the opera singer. And then the other ones, I stick to my guesses.
Which Olsen twin?
Well, that was my joke, because like, I think it's one of the Olsen twins, because a lot of the clues would have matched for her. She's like, I was a child star that nobody ever wanted me to grow up. I got to see the world because of my unique situation. And I was like, yeah, like the Olsen twins had one of these. They had movies in like every country. Like,
don't
Olsen
you know that I
twins
watched
Japan.
all of them? I watched every single one of them. I was obsessed.
I knew all of them because my best friend in elementary school had twin little sisters. And so, like, they had them all. They're like, "We're the Olsen twins." And so it was like, so anyways, I guessed them. And then Nick Cannon said, "Well, which Olsen twin?" And I was like, "Oh, I treat both of them as one, the same way Full House did."
But clever. How does that come to be for you? Are you a fan of the show? So you reach out to somebody on it? Did your agent say, "Will you do this?" Like, how do you even get on Masked Singer as a guest judge?
I had never seen Masked Singer until the day before they booked me, and I watched 3 episodes because I was like, I'm going to be on it tomorrow. I need to know how the show works. And now, since the show was so fun to shoot, I'm making a big push to be a full-time judge next season. Is that something they're considering, you ask? It isn't. It's just me trying to put it out in the universe.
It's so good. The show is so fucking fun. I mean,
so fun.
I am surprised that I'm behind on it, but I'm behind on everything in quarantine. But when I got turned on to that show, I was like, I don't understand how this exists. I don't get who pitched this and how it worked, but it's fucking genius.
Well, and I'll tell you how I got it was I was shooting a project for Fox before the quarantine. And so they figured by the time my episode of me guest judging would be airing, they would be able to promote the project that I'm working on. But because of the coronavirus thing happening, and all of us having to be in lockdown, that show got shut down temporarily, like for the lockdown.
Yeah.
And so by the time my episode come on, people are like, why is he on here? And it's like, well, relax. First of all, sorry, I'm not famous enough for everyone, but also, it was a situation of coronavirus. That's all that happened, is that like we would have been promoting my show with Ken Jeong if this wouldn't happen.
You gotta ditch that.
What?
Your thing, like the people were saying, and why isn't he famous? This is how we got into it about the I could never be. You are worthy. You are enough. Know that. What was it called? It's called I can do that. I can never do that. I can do that.
I can do that. Yeah.
I can do that. You are worthy. You are enough. Have confidence in your celebrity and ability, and fuck everybody else. These motherfucking cocksucking fucks.
Well, I was just, thank you. That's very nice of you.
Elegantly
I just think like I got like all these like messages, like, or not messages. I didn't cover that, but like it's always like some snarky pop writer for like some shitty online thing that people don't read, and it's like, wow, he must have a good agent. How'd he get on this? And then the other one was like, so we went from and guest judge Jeff Dye, exactly who? And then it was like. So we went from Jamie Foxx to this guy. Who's this guy? It's just everyone's so obsessed with celebrity that they can't handle. Like, it's very tricky. I've kind of got an obsession about their obsession.
But I feel like that should make you be like, yeah, I fucking won. You guys are writing about it, and I am the judge after Jamie motherfucking Foxx. Suck my dick. Well, so like again, more elegantly phrased.
That's not how I think about it.
No, that's just not.
I wish they would. I wish they would suck my dick.
Going over to some of these Streamlabs questions. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar. Gingerbread said, okay, so we're talking about Schmoedown stuff. Do you know what the Schmoedown is?
Oh my gosh. So I've been invited to do Schmoedown. Okay. I've never been able to do it with my schedule and stuff like that. I love almost every person that I've seen that's done the Schmoedown. I love all those guys, Makuga and Christian. I love the freaking Chris Jericho's doing it, who I love.
Yeah, I drafted him to my team. So
yeah,
I'm a manager and I drafted Jericho onto my team. But
I don't know how it works. Can you explain what a Schmoedown is?
It's a movie trivia show that's like wrestling meets movie trivia. So that's why it's so up your alley. There's like theatrics around it. The trivia part is real and you come out onto stage and you compete with movie trivia, but like you're in character and there's costumes and then you like shit talk and you've got managers and they come out and they cut promos on you. And it's it's a crazy thing, but questions in here about that because it's been big this week since I drafted Jericho. Gingerbread says, Coy mentioned he doesn't want Kevin Smith to do Inner Geekdom. Coy drafted Kevin Smith. As it would require too much studying. That's true. What kind of matches are you hoping to find for Jericho? And Jeff, do you have a favorite film of last year? Okay, two completely different things. For Jericho, right now we're talking about it. I don't know. I've got to still work with him and see strengths, weaknesses, and figure out who I want him to go up against. Obviously, Jericho, Kevin Smith would be a really fun match as they're friends. But I'll keep you guys posted. Jeff, favorite movie of last year? All over the map.
Wow. That's because I always know what to answer when people ask me my favorite movies, but you said of last year. So that's,
yeah.
I really liked the It movies. I'm like a big horror film guy, and I thought the It movies were freaking awesome. But I would think I'd say Knives Out was my favorite.
I loved that movie.
Is that 2020 or is that 2019?
No, it was 2019.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, Knives Out. Fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it, see it. Don't watch the trailer. Don't read anything about it. Just go see it.
Glenn Caesar says, Jeff, with quarantine being extended, laughing really helps us. So thanks for bringing the funny. Do you have any movies, TV shows, comedy shows, including yours, that you'd recommend us watching to make us laugh or lift our spirits to pass this time?
I don't know how many of them will make you laugh, but I know that the ones that I'll recommend will be very interesting, and they'll also distract you from what's currently going on. But the Vice on YouTube, like Vice Channel.
Mhm.
It has Dark Side of the Ring, and what it
Oh
is
my
it's
God, we've talked about that on the show. I haven't seen it
they're
yet, but
so
I hear
good.
it's incredible.
You don't even have to care or know about what they're going to be talking about, and it's so interesting. It's so informative. It's so well done, and also it's the documentaries about wrestling that pro wrestling would never give you, because they're talking about things that Vince McMahon wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. Like it's like literally like next week is Owen Hart. 2 weeks ago it was like I think New Jack, which is like this crazy wrestler who's like a psycho. They did an episode on Chris Benoit, the guy that killed his son and his wife.
Wasn't it 2
Oh,
episodes?
it's a
on
two-part.
Benoit?
Yeah, it's a two-part. I mean, it was so stinking good. And then also, I don't know if your audience is big into sports, but The Last Dance with Michael. The Last Dance with Michael Jordan is phenomenal.
Wait, did
it's
you
so
have
good.
beer before? What's making you burpy? Just talking?
Soda water.
Oh.
Yeah. Also, I like to color coordinate my drinks with my outfit.
Always?
No, I just made that up.
It's really clever. I love Last Dance also. And I don't know that those will make you laugh, but they definitely pass the time. We've got more questions in here for you. Are you ready for some?
Go for it. Yeah, let's hit them. Let's hit them
Are
all.
you ready for some?
Yeah, I'm happy to do it.
I don't know why I phrase it like that. Weston Ira says, welcome to the Cool Kids Club, Jeff. I didn't know that's what this was, but okay. It surprised me recently to see how many commenters on a recent Schmoedown video Roxy did about Jericho either don't or won't separate kayfabe from reality. What's the most obvious thing to you that you had to break down for someone in your audience to understand?
Oh, man. Comedians obsess about this subject as well. You don't want the joke to be so obvious or spelled out that it's not even clever, because you want to toe the line of being very clever, right? Mm-hmm. But also sometimes there's some people in that audience that just aren't going to get it. You don't want to say fuck you to those people, like, they'd never get it, they're too stupid. But you also don't want to spell it out, because then really smart or intellectual people are going to go, that's an easy joke. So it's really hard to please all the people, which is impossible to do. But especially when you go to these towns, like sometimes people that come to comedy clubs aren't the most sophisticated people. So it's a real tug of war with that sort of thing. Wait, what was the first part of that question?
Oh, he was just talking about, I did a video, I cut a promo.
Oh, kayfabe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain to the people what kayfabe is for people that might not know?
Kayfabe, so in Schmoedown, like what I say is my character, and then I breaking of that wall, and who I am actually. So kayfabe is like the fake part versus the real part. Does that make sense? I feel like I didn't fucking explain that well at all.
No, it's pretty good, but it's a wrestling term. It's basically like, so when I was dating Becky Lynch, I used to love when I was around all the other wrestlers to pretend like I thought it was all real, which is like they would call me like the kayfabe boyfriend, but I was doing it as a shtick, you know. I'd be like, "Aren't you guys upset about each other? Aren't you guys upset about what just happened?" Because they'd be backstage like eating, you know, lunch or whatever together off of like a buffet line, and so then I would jokingly be like, I can't believe you guys already made up. I mean, that seemed really heated out there. Like, are you guys? And they would laugh because they obviously knew what I was doing. I am very annoyed to answer the question, about how many wrestling fans can't separate kayfabe from whatever.
Yeah,
and it's because a lot of like 11-year-olds and 12-year-olds and 10-year-olds watch pro wrestling, and they just can't help themselves. They just literally think everything is a thing, and they're like, you don't realize like this is a show. It's a TV show, and they can accept that it's choreographed, and they can accept that it's whatever, but then they still like, they'll be like, is that real? Is that? They have so much trouble juggling those little details. It
is so apparent in the Schmoedown. That's why you got to get into it, because it's crazy. But like, one of my closest friends is another one of the managers, and we fucking hate each other in the league because he's just such a slime. Yeah, his character's just like slime bag fuck. So being in quarantine has made me lose words. Like, everything is a fuck. I just can't. I
actually think fuck's funnier than any kind of real.
He's just like a fuck. But everybody, I had him on the show a couple weeks ago, and everybody's like, why would you bring him on if you hate him so much?
Yeah, you're like, I don't really hate it. Yeah, it's just,
I don't know how I can't say it enough times. I love him. We were next door neighbors for years. He's like my homie, ride or die. But
I will say that I do enjoy when things aren't. So like, I do like when when the reality does clash. So like Bret Hart actually hated Shawn Michaels, and
It
that's
is
why
cool.
those matches were fantastic because they actually hated each other. So that's when that reality met the fiction, which I do love. And then also like in UFC, nothing makes me more upset when like these two guys are doing these things, they're head to head, they're butting with each other, they're upset, blah, blah, blah. And then you find out afterwards, they're like shaking hands and like, yo, respect, man. And I was like, no, I believed that UFC is real. I didn't believe that UFC shouldn't be like wrestling. I get that if Undertaker and Yokozuna are friends, I get that. But I can't. You two made me believe in reality of UFC that you hated each other. So that makes me always upset.
I feel you on that. It's like I don't want to see how the sausage is made. Just let me live in my make believe world. Brandy says, I agree. Turtle is Jesse. I think Frog is Bow Wow, and Night Angel is Candy Burris. I'm usually good with my guesses. The Olsen twin guess killed me.
I will tell you that two of your guesses I don't think are correct. I think the turtle is Jesse. I think the frog is MC Hammer, and I think Night Angel is T-Boz from TLC.
Wait,
now,
everyone is saying Night Angel is Candy. Everyone.
Oh, then maybe they're right. I don't know. I listen. When I guess, they're genuine guesses. They didn't tell me anything. I didn't see nothing. But on the day, I said that frog is Sir Mix-a-Lot, just because I wanted, it matched the clue package, and also I wanted to guess something different than what everyone else is guessing. I would be shocked if Bow Wow is Frog, and I want everyone to know that because if it's Bow Wow, I've got to give some love to Bow Wow, because that frog, whoever's in that costume, can dance, can sing, and could perform. And I thought Bow Wow was just like a young hip-hop artist. I didn't think he could dance and he could like sing like a professional singer. Like I thought he was a rapper.
All I can think of when I think of Bow Wow, the only thing I know is Lil Bow Wow. You just don't know the way you move so fast across the flow. That's the only thing I think of. What does he have other? What is his?
I don't know much of his work. I know he dated Sierra, and that's like that's like some gossip that everyone knows from a long time ago. And I don't want to be disrespectful to hip hop, but there's a lot of rappers who can't sing, and whoever's in that costume can sing like good. And I think that, and they also seem older and deep voiced, which wouldn't match Bow Wow. So that's why I picked Sir Mix-a-Lot. But I think in hindsight, it's MC Hammer.
So Brandy, you think your pick sucks, dude?
Yeah, Brandy, step it up. Although she's probably gonna be right. She's like, my guesses are usually right. I'm like wrong.
Well, if it's Bow Wow, then you'll eat crow. I've always thought that was kind of strange.
I'll give credit to Bow Wow.
Eat crow. Garth McMurray says, Jeff, what is your personal favorite time when you were able to joke back at a heckler and get the audience to root against the heckler? And what did you say? Do you remember? It's very specific.
And this is so like, in basketball, you want like a 5-tool player, or like in baseball, in sports, you want someone who can do all the things. Now, I'm more of a 4-tool comedian. The 5th tool would be like audience interaction and these kind of things like that. That's not my strong suit. I can occasionally have like a funny thing if something happens in the audience.
But you don't what's it called? Crowd play? Crowd surf?
Crowd work. Yeah, I don't do a lot of crowd work. And also I'm so lucky that there's a lot of people that don't like me, but the people who do like me are very nice. I have very kind fans. I don't have like the Joey Diaz crowd or the Joe Rogan crowd or the in the back of the day, like Doug Stanhope, the more kind of like gringy fans. My fans are like sweethearts. They're just really sweet people who are like nice, kind of salt of the earth. So the most heckles I get are like some mom being like, "We love you," and it's like I'm not gonna kick her out for being a sweetheart.
Why are so nice?
I think because of the shows that they know me from, like Better Late Than Never is a very kind, like family-friendly show with older guys. Last Comic Standing was very clean, and I was like one of the clean comedians on it. Mm-hmm. Like my fans come from, they know me from kind of wholesome things. That's why it sucks when a comic does well on America's Got Talent, but he's like very edgy in real life, because the people that come see him are really nice, regular people. And then they're like, I'm not like that bullshit on America's Got Talent. And all the people are looking around going, but that's what we liked. That's why we liked you. Like they feel rejected and kind of duped.
Wait, I feel like you're kind of edgy though. You don't feel like you're kind of edgy?
Not at all. Like
Really? You say some things that I'm like, oh my God.
Well, but that's because where do you're like an LA girl of a certain age.
It's so rude. That was the meanest thing you've ever said to me.
Well, that things hit your ears different than they're going to hit a 50-year-old Republican chick from like Arkansas. Things hit her ears. She doesn't give a shit. She's like, yeah, whatever. Whereas like you're woke, you know, like you're like the type of gal who's going to hear a thing and then be like, well, you can't talk like that anymore. When most of the country's going, talk however the fuck you want. We don't give a shit. Like they don't care. So that's why comedy like lives in a different area than the 3 liberal cities of America.
Wait, that can't be true.
That's 100% true.
Really?
Like we talk. Me and Krista Stefano and Jan's Papa. We talk about it all the time. Of like everybody kind of what's it called? Like tiptoes around the 3 liberal cities that live in America, when the rest of the country's kind of like, you know, that there's plenty of places that have never heard of the Me Too movement. We're like getting drinks with girls and we're like, well, you know, I probably won't even do that bit now since the Me Too movement. And the girls that were drinking with us are like, what's the Me Too movement? They had never even heard of it. Not disagree or agree.
When are you talking about?
They had just never heard of it.
When? This year?
It's like 6 months ago.
What?
So it's not that they had an opinion against or for it. They just don't live in our realities. Like living in LA is just, you know, it's a totally different. Also, I didn't mean to call you like an LA girl like it's a bad thing.
I'm not an LA girl. I'm a fucking Boston
I know.
girl.
That's why I'm saying I'm sorry and I take it back. But my point is that things are going to hit your ears different than you know, someone who lives in Texas, Fort Worth.
That makes me uncomfortable though. Like how because I just often feel so disconnected to this country. I feel very disconnected. And like, you know, I talked to my friends, one of my closest friends, a friend of the show who was on here several weeks ago, Dom Burns, was talking to me about how he lives in England. And he's like, we all think we think that America is full of fucking morons. Like, you guys have people picketing outside saying, let me cut my hair or give me death. We all laugh at you guys. And I feel like I laugh at us too, because I don't relate to those people. Like I don't relate to the person right now holding a sign that's like, let me cut my hair or I'm leaving to go to fucking Canada, whatever they say. Like it doesn't make sense to me. So hearing you say that there are people right now that we're working so hard to out these people who are destroying human beings' lives. I mean, I don't mean the people who it's like borderline Me Too. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about the like Harvey Weinsteins of the world. And there are just so many young women out there who are like, what's the Me Too movement? And that makes me feel just so disconnected from this country. I don't get it.
It's because we live in a melting pot of like tons and tons of different things. So it's like, you know, that's I'm trying to think of it. Like there are people who think wearing a mask is stupid and they've politicized a virus, right? Yes. And that sounds stupid.
Yes.
Those people sound weird to some. But it's also to other people completely embarrassing and ridiculous that someone would know who Kristen Cavallari is like married or divorced to. Those are both gross things to the opposite. Like what person would post about a vegan pie and green juice? Like that's just as embarrassing to this person as this person who's like, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I hate that shit too. But what you're talking
guns
about
is a part of people's lives, like a very huge incremental part of some people's cultures. And then these people's culture is like not wearing a bra. Like it seems weird to the both. And I don't think that you're disconnected. I think we need to understand it's okay that things are different.
Do you remember how white the underarms of mine are? Because
they look good to me.
Again. That makes me.
Your 5 o'clock shadow.
I can see it. It looks like I don't know. It's really not doing good things for me. I can't believe that I thought that you were a dirty comic and you think you're a clean comic and everybody in here agrees.
I'm only a clean comic comparatively. So, if I was performing at a church, you'd be like, that was the filthiest thing we've ever saw. But if you put me in a comedy club or the Comedy Store with all these other guys, they're like, he was so smiley and wholesome. And I agreed with his views. He supports gay people and he supports women, but he also doesn't just think I should make fun of being a white guy. I don't like do the cliche like, sorry, I'm a white guy. I'm a piece of shit because I'm straight. I think masculinity is just as good as femininity. And I don't think that I think that makes me edgy to liberal LA audiences.
You're edgy AF. Just own it.
Take it.
All right, more things. Weston says.
Garth just nailed it. Clean
What?
compared to Joey Diaz, but dirty compared to Seinfeld. That's good. I'm right in that middle. That's a great
like
way to
that
put
middle
that.
spot.
Garth McMurray. Yeah.
Yeah, Garth is great. Weston says, what does this dynamic duo, I think that's us, think of the armed anti-lockdown protesters popping up in the States? And how do you think the government should handle those idiots? Also, I'm digging the bangs. Do you feel like answering this?
I'm really not informed about it. So what is the idea? They're going to like make sure people stay inside with guns? They're going to like take guns and like do martial law? Is that what he's asking us about?
No, I think that anti-lockdown protesters are the people I was just talking about with the signs.
Oh, they're coming out. They're saying, I don't care. I'm coming out.
Yeah, I think we kind of just talked about it. Like,
what do I think about it? I really don't.
Do you get bothered by anything?
No, I'm happy. I have a great life.
That's actually not true. I've seen you bothered by many things before.
Irritable and happy are two different things. Also, if I'm really worried about a virus, I'll just stay inside my house. That's my choice to stay inside, and it's my choice to go outside. I don't really care. I don't care what people do.
Do you care about other people?
I totally care about other people. That's why I'm only worried about my personal responsibility. I can't literally get bent out of shape about a bunch of people I've never met doing stuff that I don't approve of. Otherwise, I'd just go on a rant judging all these other religions that I don't agree with.
Vincent here said, Roxy, much love. I think it's great that you take care of your grandparents. I wish this could be more, but I love Vince. Thanks, Vince. You're so sweet. I'm reading that now because grandparents, that's what, like, they got to go out and get food and stuff, and I got to help them.
We can help them. No, we can help them. We can go get groceries for them. We can do stuff. Yeah, we gotta help them for sure, but we don't gotta say we don't gotta be like, you get out of your house too. No, Gram needs to stay home, and we can bring him shit because I'm healthy.
Gram. Sugar Gum says, I'm always interested in what films comedians don't find funny. Christian doesn't care for Zoolander. Roxy, I find you funny. LOL. And you don't like The Big Lebowski. Yes, I do.
That's my favorite movie. Check it out.
I love The Big Lebowski. Who said I didn't like The Big Lebowski? So Jeff, what comedy films do you not care for?
Okay, this is a good question. So I just feel like it's a risk saying this because, like, what if, people were like, oh, you're in that movie, but you said you hated those 4 years ago or whatever. But I don't find Adam Sandler movies funny anymore. Like, I don't like so for example, like, I like a movie that is funny that isn't like silly kind of zany shit. Does that make sense? So, like, for example, I love The Big Lebowski. It makes me laugh every single time I watch it.
But are you talking about like Waterboy, Billy Madison, or
no? But those were great.
Okay.
But here's why those were great. I was 15 or 16, and I thought dick humor and that kind of stuff was hilarious. I've outgrown what Adam Sandler makes. I've gotten too much of an adult. Now I'm just going, what? Why would, like, have you rewatched Dodgeball? It's the least funny movie that's ever been put on.
Oh my God. Adam Sandler speaks to me so much, and I love Dodgeball. I love that.
Dodgeball was one of the big gags in Dodgeball was that the cheerleader was fat. And, like, how funny it is that she's a big, fat, gross cheerleader. And at one part, she's so fat that little Justin Long can't support her anymore. And her pussy falls over his head because she's a big, fat lady. I don't find that funny at all. I think that's, like, the worst humor I've ever seen in my life.
Justin's so
also,
good.
like, one guy's a pirate who throws wrenches. The whole thing just is so... And here's the thing. Now, do I watch that as a 12-year-old and think it's funny? Probably. But I wasn't, and I'm not. So now I like the kind of movies like... I'm trying to think of something I watched recently that really made me laugh.
Do you like role models?
Which one is Role? Oh, yeah, those movies were good. I think Step Brothers and Role Models.
It was only one movie.
I know, but like the Will Ferrell kind of like John C. Reilly humor is just silly enough that that occasionally I roll my eyes, but most of the time I'm laughing. So I think that's a good medium.
You know what I'm talking about? The Paul Rudd movie? It's
Maybe I haven't
Sean
seen
William Scott, Paul Rudd. I want to know what you think of it. I love that movie so
it.
much.
Let me Google it so I can
Role
figure out what you're
models.
talking
It's
about.
so
I know
good.
the name, but
It's
I'm
the
trying to think
best.
here. Role.
By the way, Brandy says I'm gonna give Jeff so much crap if it's Bow Wow. Good for you,
I
Brandy.
know. I saw that she posted that.
Give him crap. Give him hell.
I never saw Role Models.
Will you see it for me?
Yeah,
So
I'll watch
good.
it. I'll check it out.
It's so funny. I try to get everybody to watch it. Nobody cares about my recommendations. I think it's so funny though. I love that.
I will say that this is consistent with what I was just talking about, though. But when I saw Zoolander, to the person that asked the question, when I saw Zoolander, I thought it was so funny. But again, I saw it when it first came out, and I was pretty young. But I did like it.
Some humor doesn't age well. We know that. Glenn in here says, hello, Roxy and Jeff. Happy Thursday. It's great to have you on live at the Roxy, Jeff. Thanks for virtually hanging out with us today. I'm sure this will be another really fun show. Glad you're in the Rockstars band. So this was submitted before we started. He says, Jeff, what's been your favorite travel destination to visit and spend time in for work purposes? And what's your favorite travel destination to visit and spend time in for vacation or just me time?
Okay,
Jeff,
that's a good question. So before all this and before my schedule got real busy, I used to go to Mexico every month. I'm so obsessed with Mexico. Everything about it. I wish I was Mexican. I wish I lived in Mexico. I wish all those different. I am obsessed with the culture, the people, the food, the beaches. I like everything Mexican. And the reasons are, I had to plug in my laptop. It said that it was going to die, and the cord was right underneath me. So so what I like about Mexico is that the people don't have a lot, and they're still fine. They're still very grateful. They work hard. The weather is grueling, and they just embrace it. Like, you don't find a lot of grumpy Mexican people, and I'm talking about the entire country. Like, you'll go into like the smallest towns or the biggest towns, and you can like whistle at people or like wave, and they're just like everything. The most impoverished people are still so sweet and inviting. You could go up to like a bunch of Mexican dudes drinking like tequila and be like, "There you are, you pieces of shit," and they're like, "Hey, like they're so non-confrontational.
Do you go by yourself? Do you go for work? Like, why were you in Mexico every month?
I usually go by myself for like me time, and what that was is I'm in my phone all the time. I'm in my phone constantly because I'm just a social media guy, and like I want people to like my stuff and all that stuff. So when I go to Mexico, I like to just turn my phone off. I'll check my email like at the end of the night and maybe like browse through the text just to see if like something important I missed. But then I'll stay there for like a week and I'll just be on the beach. I'll get the sun.
Once a month you go to Mexico for a week?
Yeah, and I'll just sit there and sometimes like 3 days. Sometimes it's like,
you go on vacation for a week.
It's awesome. I love it. And also I've come back charged up. I'm like, I'm ready to do this. Now I'm in my phone again. I'm doing all the thing, cranking everything out, making
Where
deals.
in Mexico do you go?
I like Jalapa, which is outside of Puerto Vallarta. I love Puerto Vallarta. I love Tulum. I love I'm trying to think. Even Cabo is fine. It's a lot of white people in Cabo, which is annoying because they're tourists like me. But it's still beautiful and still Mexico.
Do you feel safe?
Yeah, but also I'm a 6'4" dude. People that are bad people, like real shitty people in the earth, they prey on the weak or the little or the petite, which is why so many horrible crimes happen to women, because they're like, if I'm going to knock out a guy, it's probably going to take more. It's a little more risky to fight me than it would be to fight you. And also the odds are better that you have more expensive things on you. You have a whole purse full of stuff. You probably have some jewelry if you're walking around or whatever. Whereas me, they're going to get a $7 shirt, and my wallet probably just has credit cards I can cancel. And so criminals, they prey on what would be easier for them to steal from, so I feel safe in Mexico. I have brought girls with me, but they're with me. So I feel like that's, they're all right.
I've never heard of somebody going to Mexico once a month on vacation.
I love it. I think it's the best place. Well, and also like that might be a part of my irritants with like America, is that like everyone's so obsessed with rights and privileges, and they're always bitching and moaning about stuff that's like, isn't it sad that it's like, dude, go to Mexico where they don't even have water, and then they're happy. You'll see them partying and they're just so grateful for life. Like they're a living life. And you don't ever hear them bitch. They're like, I have 3 jobs and I've got 4 beautiful kids. Like they don't go, well, it's hard. I got to work 3 jobs and I've got 4 kids to feed. They don't look at life as like a burden as much as like, we're doing it, we're living. And I get very inspired by that. And the only bad part about it is it makes me feel like I have zero tolerance for,
Americans.
Yeah, for privileged people that don't really recognize that they're privileged. Someone just said the cartel's not scared of anyone 6'4". True, but also the cartel wouldn't want anything to do with me. I don't have any drugs. I don't have any money that they could get. It's in American accounts. But that is true. They'll fuck me up if they wanted.
Wow, I'm so jealous right now. I don't feel jealous very often, but I feel very jealous right now.
Come to Mexico. You want to come to I've brought girls to Mexico. It's been great.
Yeah, I do want to go to Mexico, but we're in a quarantine. And also,
it's probably not safe now.
I feel like I am the number one target in Mexico. Like I am somebody who I am the easiest target. I feel like when I got robbed in Prague. I was making out with a guy and he took all my shit and ran.
You're kidding.
No, it was so sad.
He even stole affection from you.
I know. We were on the dance floor and hooking up, and I literally like felt something against my leg, and it was his hand in my purse, and he fucking sprinted.
You're kidding. Yeah, see, I don't know. See, that's one of those things that's a great disadvantage for females, unfortunately. But it sucks. It's unfair. But
it's not fair. It's not fair. Everybody always is like, do you want to travel alone? And I'm obsessed with being alone. I love being alone. I love doing I love going to lunch alone and the movies alone. And I want to travel.
You love being a stand-up comedian, then. That's the.
Well, yes and no, but I'm scared shitless all the time. Like everybody here knows I live by myself. And during quarantine, like I hear a car alarm on the street, and I have 2 knives now next to my bed. Like, what the fuck am I going to do with my knives? But I'm scared all the time because I'm like,
we got to get you a gun, Roxy. You want a gun? You know, the California laws are pretty loose on that. Let's get you one.
I honestly was thinking about it, but I feel like there's a very, very high percentage chance that if I had a gun, I would hurt myself.
Here's what we do. We get you a gun. You have it. It makes you feel safe. We teach you how to use it. But then when you do, or if you do decide to have kids, we're probably going to get rid of the gun. You know what I'm saying? Because that's when I tell people don't get a gun. Like, you got young kids running around the house and shit. Like that's true. But like in your situation, you need protection. Shoot the people.
I know that I'm not ready to have a gun though, because the first thing I Googled was, is there a pink gun? Like I was more concerned about it. Like looking, I wanted it to be like
1,000%.
bedazzled.
It's only the biggest market like in America. Like it's bigger than video games. Like guns.
I don't know anything about it, so I just wanted to know. Like, does it come in pink? Like, can I get it?
You could probably get a clear one. You could probably get like a freaking eye gun. I don't know how.
Like little gems. This makes me sound so stupid. Thank you to Ben, who said role models is very funny. Venti Fight is hella funny. You don't know what the Venti Fight is because you haven't watched it yet, even though I asked you to like 10 minutes ago, Jeff.
I know. Well, I've got on it. It's on my list. I will say someone put something in the comments that I want to reference.
What?
One of the best movies I've ever seen, and it did come out last year. So thank you for whoever commented it. Jojo Rabbit. That is a smart, funny movie.
Yeah, it was really amazing. It really
is. There's no fat cheerleaders, pussies falling on Justin Long's head. It's a funny movie.
It would be really out of place if in Jojo Rabbit, Justin Long came out to lift up some kind of cheerleader, Jewish or otherwise, very large, falling on his face. I just don't know how imaginary Hitler would take that.
Yeah. I think that maybe it would have to be a German chick. I don't think that there wasn't a lot of Jews in the movie.
Well, they didn't last very long.
Just one heroic one. One star of the movie, and then the rest were Germans.
That movie is so good. Glenn Caesar says, thanks for giving us a great show today, Roxy and Jeff. Oh, yeah, we got to get out of here soon. 2 thumbs up. Here's my last question. A favorite of mine to ask Roxy's guests. Jeff, if you could pick any special ability or power, what would it be? I.e., wish granting, cloning yourself, telekinesis, etc.
Okay, so since my answer is so generic, because I'm being honest. It's the best. I have dreams I can fly. It's so cool. Like, and also like, I also like it to show off, you know? Like in my dream, like I'll just like start bounding while I'm running, and each bound is getting higher and higher, and everyone around me is going, that man must be special. He can fly, you know, like, so that it's for selfish reasons, but also just feels so cool to fly.
Well,
So
you
because
travel
that's such,
nonstop too. Like I feel like that'd be
Oh,
so.
that'd be
I mean,
great.
now you can get to Mexico. Like now, you could just like
so
Mexico.
convenient. There's a comic named, because that's such a generic answer, I'll leave you with a funny joke. Chris Trevor, very, very, very funny comic. Look him up. He's a bartender at the Comedy and Magic Club, but he's a very funny comedian. He's great at NFL 2K. He's one of the best people I know. Very unaccomplished comedian yet, very underrated. But he's got a great joke where he says, what would be your superpower? And the audience always says stuff like me, like I'd fly or I would be invisible. And he goes, mine would be the orgasm handshake. He's like, think about it. You always make a good first impression, you know? Everybody's gonna, every girl is gonna really, really like you, and all they have to do is just shake your hand, and they'll be like, wow, I love that guy. And he goes, the only time it would be bad is meeting your girlfriend's dad. That would be the only part that would be uncomfortable.
Come on. It's an amazing joke, but that would be the worst ability to ever have. You would be you'd be so afraid to touch anybody. Anybody.
I'd touch everyone.
What if you
except
like,
my dog.
If I like on accident touched, like shook my brother's hand, I would kill myself. Like that's not.
Well,
nice,
you just have to like
okay?
hug your brother. Just you'd be very confident. Every general meeting, just.
Yeah, but like, do you want to even see that? Like
the casting director, like, it'd be great.
It's so bad, and then also just like uncomfortable. No, I'm not into it. Guys, we do have to get out of here. Did I keep you too long? Are you okay?
I'm good. I'm happy. Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm so happy you're
happy.
happy. Okay, wait. I do see one more that I have to ask you. Gingerbread said, so is Jeff sold on the Schmoedown, or at least sitting at the desk with Markham Makuga? And quickly, any favorite shows, Jeff? Are you big on Friends? Okay, those are the last questions I will ask. So, first one, are you sold on the Schmoedown?
Here or there for me. When I watch Friends, it's great. No, so here's the thing.
You don't
I like Friends.
No.
I watch it. I like it. It's whatever. But it's not something that I would like binge or be like, let's watch Friends all night. Like that wouldn't be my thing. But it's nice. It's cute. I get it. And then I love Schmoedown. I'd be down to do it anytime. I'd love to get in on it. It sounds like something that's right up my alley. Sounds like something that's like, it's a sports and movies. That's great. The only bad part is trivia. I'm pretty crap at trivia.
I suck at trivia too. Well, that's why they said you could be on the desk. You could ask the questions.
Yeah. Or I'd make up for it in theatrics, you know?
It's hard
That's
to
what Doug Benson's when Doug Benson has me on, like Doug Loves Movies, he's always like, oh, when Jeff's here, you know, it's kind of like, have you ever you've definitely heard of the term beginner's luck?
Yeah.
That was coined from poker, because if you don't know, it's hard to read if someone's bluffing or not. If they don't know what they're doing. They don't even know their cards. How are you going to read what they're doing? So the term beginner's luck is like poker people being like, is this good? And then that, like, you know, they win because they suck. So it's kind of the same thing with when I'm on Doug Loves Movies. They're like, we never know how this is going to go when Jeff's on here.
Do you know that
he's just so shitty at this?
Doug Benson just got drafted into the Schmoedown. Is that why you brought him up?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he just got drafted.
He's going to be really good at the trivia part.
You like Doug Loves Movies. I go on Getting Doug with High. That's you and I are on the different path.
I've been on that once. Yeah, I was.
How'd you do? Did you get paranoid?
No, I did pretty good. I monitored it real well. I was also on Snoop Dogg's new show. It's called it was Snoop Dogg that's like the producer and like the finance behind it. The Cassie is the host. I think that's her name. Is there a hip hop artist named Cassie? The milkshake brings all the boys to the
No, that's not Cassie. She's just it's
what's
me and you now.
No, but what's the milkshakes chick?
Oh, who did that song? I know what you're talking about. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard is sung by Kellis.
So Kellis was the host, and it's called Cooked with Cannabis, and so they fed us weed. Oh my God! If you watch me on that, it's on Netflix, episode 6. The first half, I'm being silly, I'm being myself, I'm being Jeff, and the second half, I don't say anything because I'm just so gone.
I don't do well with that. No.
Looking around, I drank out of like a little succulent plant. I was like at one point they cut and they show everyone, but my head is just on the table. Like, I mean, I was gone.
Were you uncomfortable?
No, I remember not thinking much about it, to be honest. I remember the day's kind of a blur.
I get when I'm gone like that, I get really like uncomfortable, really bad.
But I did Doug's once, and then the other ones, the Douglas movies, I've done a number of times.
I don't want to say bye to you, but I am.
Well, let's just do this again. You know, when this is over, we'll just FaceTime.
Jeff, where can they? I know below you is Twitter, Instagram, but where can they find you? Where can they keep up with you? What are all the things you're working on?
Do the Instagram right there. That's what I'm on most all the time, anyways. And then also I have a podcast called Jeff Dye's Friendship Podcast, which Roxy was on. But also,
my fans like you better than your
fun.
fans like me. Your fans don't like me as much, but my people like you. That's not fair.
I just didn't share all the positive ones with you. People were, and some people got a little pervy with you too. Like people were like, "Oh God, she's so hot, you got it." Like it was like a whole thing. I just didn't share those. That's the thing. I can show you like 200 nice messages.
You have to have me back on for redemption, I think.
Absolutely. Well, it wouldn't be redemption. I'll have you on anytime you want. But I prefer when it's not over this. I like when I'm like at a place or they're at mine. Do you feel like that?
Yeah, 100%, obviously. Because like I have a hard time. Well, this is the camera, but this is you. I look at you the whole time because I'm not going to like look up here, but then it looks like I'm looking down, but I'm looking at you. And you can't connect. Like if you're a person who you're a stand-up comedian, obviously you're used to connecting with people in a live sense. Like I can't gauge you. I don't know what you're doing. Anytime you make a move, I go, "Where'd you just go?" Like what the fuck do I mean? Where'd you go? But yes,
I keep talking over you too. I notice like, is she done? And then like I'll start like stepping on you. Like it's hard.
I feel like I've done it to you 15 times. I'm really sorry, Jeff.
Don't be. It's just how this works. But we'll get back to normal once this coronavirus shit is over.
Yeah, I know. Everybody at home, round of applause. So Jeff, did I say applause?
Thank you.
Round of
Love
applause.
you guys.
A couple of things coming up. Housekeeping. We got some great guests coming. Oh my God! I just opened my phone and it was a picture of the foot. The bleeding, broken. Oh, it's so tough.
I haven't forgotten about it.
Shake it off. Shake it off, Rox. Shannon Barney is coming in on Sunday. We're going to be talking more Schmoedown stuff, what she did with her draft. We've got Ben Goddard coming on Thursday also. So a lot of Schmoedown stuff going on this week. I'll keep you guys updated on who else is joining. I will be back tomorrow. Friday's the day we go up at 2:30. Don't forget it. And I finished my Legos. I don't know what I want to do, but some other kind of arts and crafts, maybe show and tell. I like my Fridays to be creative.
Do they have time to see something someone built me?
Yeah, fuck yeah, they do. What do you got? See, this is the one good thing about him not being here in person is that he can go get things from his own house. And thanks for the birthday wishes. Yeah, happy birthday to Andrew. Happy birthday. And to everybody who's here right now. And shout out to Jake Yakoveta for my new amazing intro. And Jacob Patrick for my thumbnails. What?
Do you know what Brixels are?
Brixel.
They're like a knockoff company of Lego.
Okay.
They're so small and they're so hard. They take like 35 hours to build something.
That's what she said.
What girl takes 35 hours?
No. It was so small, so hard. Whatever. It was a joke.
I see that part. So someone sent me, the company, FOCO, sent me a Brixel of like Safeco Field, which is where the Seattle Mariners play. And I opened it and I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. Oh, you have?
Yeah.
So I was like, I can't do this. So what I did instead is I put a challenge out to all my fans. Like, hey, if someone wants to try and build this for me, they'll win this prize pack. And I'm going to send like a prize to them. This family, Nico and his two sons, built a 35-hour Safeco Field Brixel. Can't get it right. There we go. Look at this thing. It's got everything. Foul pools.
Crap.
It's awesome. And this thing, if you see how like detailed it is, this is so many pieces.
Wow. How do they... Wait, go in closer. I want to see how one of the pieces looks. Like they're just small and...
Tiny. Each one is like its own thing. Each circle is like a different thing.
Wow. That looks
Crazy,
sick,
right?
though. That looks really good.
I think they glued it so I could do that.
Can you imagine it would be really bad if they didn't, if you effed it up? Oh
Just drop
yeah, Glenn keeps telling me I need to do the Amazon wish list thing so they can send me arts and crafts stuff. I'll do it. I just haven't.
I thought
done
only
it yet.
porn stars had like wish lists.
No, Amazon wish list. You haven't heard of that?
I mean, I know what a wish list is, and I have Amazon.
What's the porn star? What's on a porn star's wish list?
Usually just stuff like watches and like whatever, and then they'll get like a thing, and they'll be like, "Thank you so much to @DragonSlayer48. I appreciate the new Louis purse," stuff like that.
Well, I'm looking for like Lego sets, so I think it's not as cool as a Louis purse.
It's probably,
I would take it.
fan-friendly.
I think.
Yeah, you just whatever they send.
You can't get that on. Could you get that on Amazon? All right, guys, we're getting out of here. Again, thank you, Jeff Dye. You rock. Oh, he loves you guys.
I
Very
do love
sweet.
you.
I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye, Roxy.
How about that? What a great episode. Hey, this week I'm doing 2 episodes. We're releasing 2 episodes for this week. So I'm excited for you guys to meet my new friend Kevin. We met under very unusual circumstances. I don't normally meet people the way I met him, and it makes me very happy. So he's next week's guest. You're gonna love that guy. I hope you enjoyed Roxy. If you guys are listening to this podcast and not watching it, hey, we're happy to have you. Thank you. Please subscribe. If you want to watch this podcast the way many people are, just go to my Patreon and you can get not only free Comedy Club tickets to every show that I do, but you will be able to see this podcast instead of just listen to it, which is really good because I have a lot of beautiful people on my show, and also really good because you can kind of see what's going on a little bit better than when you can't. It's one of our 5 main senses. Anyways, I love you guys. Stay tuned for another episode coming out this week. Hope you enjoy. Bye.
Friendship.